Hi, YouTube. We're doing a live on Instagram today, but I thought it would be fun to record it and you can watch it here too. So I'm going to get started there. So if I'm kind of like looking back and forth, that's what's happening. And I will probably say that again because, oh no, I don't want that. I want this. There we go. All right, and hit 3, 2, 1. Hello! Here we are. If you see me kind of looking back and forth, I have a second camera right here. I should show you a picture. Maybe I'll post a picture in my stories after. But my thought was, well, if I'm already recording, why not double up? And I can have Instagram and then the YouTubes. So if people want to catch this on YouTube or watch it later on YouTube, it'll be there. Literally no one's here, and that's okay. I'm kind of expecting maybe 1 or 2 people. I know 9 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday is kind of a weird time. Unfortunately, for everybody who has like jobs and stuff, it's kind of the worst time. But I figure you can watch it later. You can interact later, hopefully. Oh, hey, my mother-in-law's here. Hi. So my thought is we're going to do this every Wednesday, and we'll talk about a couple of chapters. Do you want to see the new cover? Now, I warn you right now, it does have, this is my proof copy, so it has this not for resale bar across. It will not have that eventually when we do sell it, when it's available, which actually should be sooner rather than later. But here is the cover. Can I show it to you without the ring light popping up? There we go. There we go. Look at how pretty. A Change of Tide, Book 1 in the Legend of the Salt of the Earth series. Who names these things? They're so long. It's me. So excited about that. Here you go. YouTubes. And we're just going to talk about the first 6 chapters. I also updated the inside so it matches this like pretty fancy font, so you can see that, and all of the chapter headings and the prologue. Here, I'll show you chapter 6 since that's where we're finishing off today. So quick question, I'll just show you chapter 3 because that's what popped up first, so you can kind of see. Looks fancy, looks pretty. One of the things I think would be really fun one of these days, and let me know if you agree, is if I read the entire book on the YouTubes. So like I would just read 1 chapter a day, not a day, like I wouldn't read the whole book in 31 days, although man, that'd be an adventure, except I don't work on Sundays, so we'd have to skip Sundays, so it would take us a little bit longer. Because it would be really fun to read it like in December. So my book starts December 5th, 2009, right? December 5th, 2009. And it would be really fun to read it on December 5th and then December 6th and December 7th and blah, 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 blah. But it wouldn't match up anyway because actually it would this year. No, because we had a leap year last year, so it'll be bumped differently. We had a leap year last year, and so we have extra days. And so December 5th will actually be, I'm thinking backwards. It would have matched up if I had done this in 2023. So I'm sure I could do the math and figure out what year that would be. But I thought it would just be fun doing like old-fashioned TV style, where every week I come out with a new chapter and I read a new chapter and you can just go listen to it, because I know there are a lot of people that are like, when are you going to do the audiobook? But y'all, doing an audiobook, if you want to do it so that Audible will actually, make it available for people to listen to, there's like a list that's a mile long of all of the little qualifications and how much hertz you can have and all these things. So like having 4 kids that exist with you in the same house, stomping down the stairs, is probably not gonna work great. And so if I wanted to do it myself, I would have to have a quiet studio where I could film the entire, or record the entire thing, start to finish, and then be able to do pickups, any spots where I like messed up words or any spots where I messed up things, and sort that out. Or the other option is I hire somebody to do it, which could be fun if it wasn't so dang expensive. It's super, super expensive. There is the third option of like having AI do it, but no me gusta. I don't want to do AI. I would rather hire somebody, and I realize that AI would be way cheaper. But here's the other thing. If I don't go through and listen to every single word and decide which words it's going to tone up and which words it's going to tone down and blah, 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 so it sounds like an actual human reading it, it will sound like a robot reading it. And if I'm going to go through all that trouble, I might as well figure out all of the red tape and do it myself. I don't know if you figured it out or not by this point, but I'm very much the whatever, I'll just do it myself kind of person, which explains why I did all of the interior and the exterior work, which also explains why it looked like the way it did. I did my best. We're not hating on the previous cover. We're just really loving the new cover, despite the fact that the ring light is making it hard for you to see. Here you go, YouTube. Sorry, YouTube's got like a better light. Here, if I just show it to you like this. Anyway, let's talk about these first 6 chapters. I decided also I should have done this, and I didn't think about it until last night, at which point it was too late, so it didn't matter. But next week, on like Monday, I think, I will post a little question box on the Instagrams and be like, hey, do you have questions? Like, are there things you want to know about the first, actually, it won't be the first 6 chapters. It'll be chapters 7 through 12, I think. I don't know. Go check the doodad. And we can talk about that. Anyway, I love this story. Here's the fun thing. One of the things is that if you decide to write a book, everybody and their dog will tell you, write a story that you love. And the reason they say write a story that you love is not because it's more fun that way. I mean, it is. That's also true. But it is mostly because you're going to have to read it a bazillion times. So you better like it. And I do. I love this story. These characters have been talking to me for a long time. I actually branched out a few years ago and started writing a cozy mystery for NaNoWriMo, I think COVID 2020. I think I did it just to give my brain something else to do, because I had been so zoned in, focused on, maybe it wasn't 2020. I think it was 2022, 2023, somewhere in there. I had been so zoned in and so focused on this that I was like, my brain needs a break. I need to do something else. I need to talk to other characters. I need to establish a different kind of world. And I was like, we're not going to do magic, or I don't want to have to figure out a new magic system. I don't want to have to figure out do a ton of world building. It's going to be Cabot Cove style. We're going to set it in, I think I did North Carolina, little beach town that I invented. I did some quick research on the Googles and wrote, and it was very refreshing for starters, but also very strange because I'm I don't know any of you. Whereas these characters, Nikki, Nellie, and Emma, I feel like I know almost as well as I know myself, because I spent so much time with them. So we have the prologue. Hands up if you enjoyed the prologue. It's one of my favorite parts. I'm going to warn you right now, if you have not read it, I'm looking at both of you, Instagram, YouTubes, don't skip it. I am guilty of skipping a prologue. This is not a book where you want to skip the prologue, because if you skip the prologue, you're going to jump in and be like, what in the world is happening? But if you read the prologue, you will know. It's almost like the author put there on purpose. She did. So in our first 6 chapters, we have the girls. We get introduced to our girls, right? Nikki, Nellie, and Emma. And fun fact, Nellie's scene where she goes surfing with Joe, was added in at the very, very last edits. Originally, the book started here with Nikki and her sorry, my kids are playing Harry Potter and I can hear them. And I was like, I had referenced this scene so many times. I was like, what if we just show it? Like, what if we just show, because I talk about Nellie surfing a lot, but I had never once shown her actually surfing. I had talked about how she was this really good surfer, but I never once actually shown anybody any of her surfing. I was like, what if we have like this one day, this one morning where life is normal and she gets to go surfing, and it's not until it's at the very end that things get kind of weird. And she has this like thing on her leg and she's freaking out about it, but it doesn't matter because she has to go to school anyway. And I wrote this and I was like, yes, this is 100% going to be in the book. And it was really fun. It was really, really fun to write. We have the donut scene. There used to be a whole long scene about how she summoned a lion. She summoned a octopus in the shower. She mentions those things now. So that's the thing, is there's some give and take. Some stuff I like pulled out. I was like, we don't really need this. There's other stuff that I was like, we probably ought to put that in. One of my favorite things that kind of breaks my heart a little bit, is the relationship between Nikki and her mom. It is not based on me and my mom, just for the record. My mom's watching this. She's like, oh no, it's not us. Don't worry. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, so we've got chapter 1 where the girls are starting to get inklings or having these magical experiences. Nikki changes her hair. Nellie has this weird thing show up on her leg, and Emma's like, we get to see Emma. We kind of get to see a little bit of like what normal looks like versus things are starting to get weird, except for Emma, who life is just looking kind of normal for her. But we get these inklings of something is going on. The project Mr. Miranda is going to give us tomorrow will help them get a better grasp on what's happening, and the faster they accept it, the faster we can start working together. If we can do that, we might get through this, right? That's what Emma says. And then we have her having a little vision. And so one of the things I knew with each of the characters, and I probably told you this before, but each of the characters, at least Nikki, Nellie, Emma, are all based on real life friends. I know that it says in the very beginning that it's all a work of fiction, and I will say it's entirely coincidental, but they know that they're the inspiration for these characters. Nellie she is one of my best friends, and we would go surfing together all the time. Nikki is the one who introduced me to Harry Potter, and so naturally it makes the most sense for her to be a witch, and Emma knows all, so she's like the dictionary where you're like, have you ever heard of this thing? She's like, oh yes, I took a class on that. So she knows all, so she gets to be the psychic medium and gets to have knowledge beyond just what we see right here. I think I can hear kids. So we get to meet Whitney, which is also one of my favorite characters, and Andy. Whitney and Andy are an adventure, man. Those two. Whitney makes a little guest appearance in book 2, just for like a second. My editor actually was like, why don't you describe Whitney? I'm like, if you don't remember what Whitney is looking like, it's okay. And if you do, bonus points. That's kind of the point of Whitney there. But Whitney is another one that was mentioned a lot before, but we never really saw any interactions, and so I actually added in some of those interactions. And then We get to meet Rochelle in chapter 2, which is Emma's aunt. And we get the history project. The history project, I loved the idea. Like, one of my favorite parts of Harry Potter was magic school. Like, I always, like, giggled / groaned a little on the inside every time Harry and Ron would complain about having all this homework. I'm like, oh, you have to do homework about learning magic. Sucks to be you. I'm sitting here doing, like, pre-algebra for the 3rd time because in California they teach it in 6th grade, and in Utah they teach it in 7th grade, and in Hawaii they teach it in 8th grade, and I've done it 3 times. It must be so hard to have to learn transfigurations. Boo-hoo. And I loved the idea of, like, having to write papers in terms of inches. I just thought that was so fun because, like, the obvious thing to do if you don't want to write a big paper is you write big, and then you have Hermione over here writing as tiny as she can so she can cram as much as she possibly can into that, 15 inches or whatever. And she'll be like, well, we were only supposed to write 12 inches, but I wrote 18. Do you think that'll be a problem? They're like, no, because that's me as a student. And so I loved the idea, but I didn't want to, obviously they're not at magic school, they're just at regular normal high school. And so I wanted something that was going to kind of pull out the magic, but also be school. And so I that was kind of fun. Nikki's dad, we find out, is deployed in chapter 3. And we get to meet Cam, who is hilarious. He's probably one of my, I say that about all of them, probably one of my favorite characters. I really like all of them, actually. I'm actually a big fan of all of these characters. Even the ones that are kind of obnoxious, even the ones that are kind of dumb. I'm a fan of them in the same way that I'm a fan of my chickens, that they're not the brightest chickens on the block. Some of them are, some of them are not. Anyway, we get to meet Madame Ethel Ortega, and she is inspired by several different people. Hi, the bunny. What do you need? Can I help you? In chapter 4, we get this interaction between between Nikki and her magic, where she gets to kind of find out that it's talking to her. It's trying to guide her. She doesn't really figure it out. The narrator kind of tells us, hey, this is what's, hey, no. Well, move the box right there. I know, I blocked myself off. It was kind of on purpose, but yeah, just move that box. Just set it down. No. I'm literally live on the internet. Could you, what do you need? Just talk. What do you need? Well, can you be with me when I'm done on the internet? I'm going to be on here for, we'll say 10 more minutes, okay? Go listen to Harry Potter, or go... Well, go tell the girls that if they're going to listen, they need to listen in the front room where everybody can listen. That's the rule on the Yoto.
And they can't even ask us. No one else was listening.
Well, if no one else was listening, don't mess with that. Pause off. You're going to turn off our gas. Please go. Thank you. Hashtag moms who write. And now my brain is empty of what it was I was going to talk about. Anyway, one of the things I also loved in Harry Potter, my book was heavily inspired by Harry Potter, can you tell? Was whenever JK would do different fonts or different handwritings or different things to let us know that we're looking at something that is not just text. And I thought that was super fun. So I included text messages, I included instant messages, and that sort of thing. We get to see Nellie is our reluctant mermaid in chapter 5, Broski. What I literally just tell you? I would love to finish a sentence. No, tell them that the rule is you have to have it out where everybody can hear it, otherwise mom's going to come take it away. No, go tell them. Mom will come take it away if you are not going to listen to it out in the front room where everybody can hear it. I'm glad that they're digging these audiobooks on Yoto. Highly recommend. But it is one more thing for everybody to fight about. It's the best. Anyway, there's a little part of me that's like, should I get 2? And I was like, no, they need to learn how to share 1. Chapter 5, we get to see Nellie turning into a mermaid for realsies this time. Also, fun fact, whenever you see this kind of thing where it's just the title, it's just the date, right? And then it's like, Nellie didn't know what to write next. You want to know why Nellie didn't know what to write next? Because Donica didn't know what to write next. So Nellie didn't know. Sometimes that happens where I'm like, what am I supposed to write next? And I'm like, maybe it's nothing. And I've said this before, writing for me at least is very, I feel like an archaeologist. I'm not inventing this as I go. I'm sitting there with my itty bitty little toothbrush, like brushing away the dirt from something that there's something there. And sometimes I'm like, oh, it's a rock, and I throw it behind me. And other times I'm like, oh, it's a bone, and I stick it onto my big mat where I have all the other bones, and I'm sort of like, eventually I'll get enough pieces together. I'm like, oh, that's a hand, and I can stick it all together and be like, oh, it's a dinosaur, right? Like, it's very, oh, for the love. Fine, I will come take it away when I'm done with this. Thank you. Never let it be said that I pretended my life was picture perfect. I do, in fact, have children who do interrupt me. And sometimes it's just because they want to spend time with me, which I love. And sometimes it's because they want to tell me all the things that their siblings are doing incorrectly. Which is not my favorite, but it's okay. Nellie, magic, something about mermaids. Shoot. If you've ever talked to me in real life, that's basically what it's like. I start telling you something, and then I get interrupted 47 times. Either sometimes by the kids, sometimes it's my own brain that will interrupt me, and then I'm like, well, I forgot what I was telling you. Anyway, Nellie turns into a mermaid in chapter 5. This is her, right? Just kidding. Nellie does not turn into a mermaid in chapter 5. Where does she turn into a mermaid? Chapter 4. I think she turns into a mermaid in chapter 4. Yes. Just kidding. I lied. Chapter 4 is where she turns into a mermaid. And we have this moment of her, I can never go into the ocean again, which actually, not here, oh yes, here, becomes the new tagline for this book. I kind of wanted the person who's got like the big struggle to be on the cover. So you'll get to know who has the big struggle in an obscured glass when I reveal the cover for that one, which I'm thinking like next week. What do you think? Should we look at that? And then chapter 5 is where we get to meet Kate, which is Nikki's grandma, Nikki's dad's mother. And then chapter 6 is we get more of this kind of interaction of school, and then also Nellie finally tells her dad, hey, I'm never going to be able to surf again because I turned into a fish. She doesn't say that part out loud, though. She doesn't tell him why yet, just tells him that she's not going to be able to surf competitively ever again, breaking her heart. And I love Tom so much. He's the sweetest, kind of this gruff dude, but this very, very sweet dad. And he gives gives Nellie her mom's journal, Ron's journal, which we'll find out very soon. Emma kind of hinted at it earlier, but if you have not read it, I highly recommend you go read it. I think, let me double check while I've got you here. Sorry, this is like the world's longest live. That's not true. I've been on lives that are like an hour long, and I'm here for it. But let me double check this really fast. On the Amazons, my 99-cent sale on the ebook is set up through something else, and so I just have it scheduled to go. It was scheduled for the 31st through the 2nd, and I'm not sure exactly when that will stop. Every time I search for my name, because contour is not spelled like the contour, like a curve with a U, it always changes it, which I just think is rude. Okay, so if you go onto Amazon, can you see? Ish. It is still 99 cents. Well, actually, sorry, YouTube. By the time you see this, it will not be 99 cents anymore. I apologize. But Instagram right now on April 2nd, it is still 99 cents. So if you were like, oh man, I want to jump in this, but I'm not going to have time. And also, if you decided, you know what, I actually do want a copy of this, or you're like, I really like that new cover, I kind of want a copy of the new cover. The paperback is updated on the Amazons. Oh, that was rude. Anyway, it's updated on Amazon. So if you order it from Amazon right now, you will get this cover. That is true, YouTubes. So anyway, that is all, I think. I think next week I will definitely make sure, let me pull that up. I do have that up here. I will make sure I look up what is, sorry, my brain is just, it's not all there. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. It's just, it's not, we're operating on like half a brain cell right now. And I'm not sure why. Okay, so next week, April 7th, I'm looking at my little doodad, chapters 7 through 12. So I was correct. Yes. Chapter 7 through 12, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, live here on Instagram, and I will record it for the YouTubes again, and we will talk about that. And I will put a reminder in my phone that on Monday, I will throw up on stories a little question box like, hey, do you have questions that you want answered in the live about the book as a whole, but specifically chapters 7 through 12. Or if you missed this one and you want to ask questions, you can totally, if you've made it to this point, honestly, gold star, right? Like, DM me if you've made it to this point, and I will send you something to be like, thank you so much for actually listening to the live. And I will send you something like for realsies, like in the mail, in the real physical mail, I will send you something. Because bless you for making it this long. We're living this. Little baby hairs doing their thing. Anyway, you can get it on Amazon. You can get the physical hard copy. It takes about a week because these are called print on demand. So when you order it, they print it and then they stick it in a bag and then they ship it to you. And that whole process takes about a week, even for me. Or you can get it for 99 cents. Again, sorry, YouTube, by this time you see this, it will not be valid anymore. But Instagram today, you will be able to see this, get it, the ebook, for 99 cents until some point today. I don't know exactly when. I don't know if it will be like tomorrow it will go back to $5.99, or if, I don't know. So if you want it and you want to read it and you want to get it caught up, we'll be reading chapters 7 through 12 next week. Or we're not reading them, but we'll be reading we'll be talking about chapter 7 through 12. World's longest exit. thank you so much for being here. Let me figure out how to end this. Oh, there it is. End now. Okay. You're welcome for the longest video also.